let's go right into the beginning of it all with Fantastic Four #1. This book came out in 1961. High sale of this book was $2.04 million, and that was in September of 2024. Last this book was $16,200 at a 4.0. The raws are going for about $3,800 at a fair poor condition. So we're looking at that as the average when we talk about fair market values. And the average grade is a 3.0, and that goes for $9,600. There's currently 3,134 copies in the census. We already talked about this being the first appearance of Fantastic Four. This is also their origin story. This is also the first appearance of Mole Man, who's their first villain. But what's more important, I think this is what really stands out about this book, is that this is the first comic published under the new Marvel Comics moniker. Before that, it was Time Atlas. And now they went and said, we're calling ourselves Marvel Comics. And this was the first book to kick it off. So you talked to me a little bit about, Fantastic Four. Tell me why this book is kind of like the start of it all, why this was the one.
Well, I have a really negative on this book, though. Let me start with that. And that is that I didn't buy it when I was a kid. So I don't have it in my collection.
The one that got away, right?
A few of them got away, a few of them got away as we go through them. But to me, the thing that when you first saw this and you heard about it, and then you go ahead and you buy it or you read it from somebody else, it was just so different, if you look, and again, it was basically almost the spawn of Justice League of America, because Marty Goodman had heard that it was selling so well. He had asked Stan Lee, give me a multiple hero type of comic book. So, but when you look at it, it looks like the illegitimate child of the Justice League, because it's nothing like it. I mean, those books on DC side were formulaic. It was basically the same type of story. Different villains, but the people like teamed up 2 by 2. You could almost tell how it was going to work out. This you couldn't. The stories were unique. The villains, as we went ahead, were unique. Mole Man, I don't know how unique he was, but the whole idea of it and the way that it worked out, and the fact that they got their powers in space, but now the evildoer was from under the earth. I mean, think about it. You're going from the center of the earth to outer space. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Another thing that really stood out, now that you mentioned it, was with the superhero books, the team books that were happening prior to Fantastic Four, they really were team up books, right? Where it was a book about a lot of superheroes. They're getting together to deal with this ultra villain that they can't handle by themselves. So they got to get together to form this team or some major threat. Where in the Fantastic Four case, it wasn't like that. Right. Fantastic Four case, this is a family. That's why they call the first family.
Right.
This is just a family, a dysfunctional family, no less, that they just happened to be in the wrong place in the wrong time, or the right place in the right time, depending on how you look at it, right? And they were still a family even after this explosion or this, incident occurred. And they decided to take this power for good, and therefore you have the superhero team.
Right, and they bickered like families and so forth. And the interesting thing about it was when they came out, and because you mentioned this, these superheroes. Let's go look to DC, because that was really the essence of it at the time. At the time in 1961, these heroes didn't have their own magazines. I mean, the Human Torch finally got one. I think it was Strange Tales. He started having his own stories in there. He did a lot of guest appearances on Spider-Man and that type of stuff. But they came in as a group to start off with. All right. So, I mean, you might have to go. I don't even know if that worked with the Justice Society way back. Probably not, because a lot of them had their own comic books. But that was unique as well. So that was kind of another unique aspect of it, was this is the place you went to see these heroes. You couldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah. The only thing I could remotely even consider similar, and that's not similar, is the Marvel family, the Captain Marvel family, where you got, Captain Marvel Shazam, then you got, Mary Marvel. But those were more derivative characters.
Yes.
That came out of Shazam, not right at the start. Where Fantastic Four, right at the start, this is a family more than a team.
Yes.
But this is a team book, no less. So